Hey there. In this screencast, we're going to look at payables payments, including prepayments and adjusting payments. So in order to record a payment to a supplier, we just choose payables and we go to payments, and then we choose the supplier we wish to pay. So we're paying Imperial Oil first of all. Shows all of the outstanding invoices in the bottom here, and then you can apply a discount and the payment amount. Another way to get to this screen is to simply find Imperial Oil, twirl them, and choose Pay Invoice. You get to the exact same place. So we're paying this invoice on March 31st. Again, this is our payment. We can choose what bank account this payment is deposited into. And we simply, if there's a discount, you click on the discount column. If there's a discount available, it'll be applied. The amount owing will be reduced. When we click on the payment amount, then you get the amount minus the discount. Again, not pertinent in this situation, but you'll see it for another example coming up. If you look at, I'll just hit tab to leave the field, and you'll see the total pops in from the payment amount. And if you look at the report, it should just be a credit to the bank account and a debit to accounts payable. I'll just make that smaller so you can all see it. There we go. So again, a debit to accounts payable, a credit to the bank account. And again, I'll go ahead and post. Say yes. We can change this alert, by the way, and set up settings company, I believe. We'll see it later on. So go ahead and complete the rest of the payments that are available in your notes. In order to see the payment journal entries, we go to Reports, Journal Entries, and Payments. We saw Purchases before, General before, or if you want to see all of your modules, you'll choose All. Again, this is the report I generate when I mark your midterms and your finals. So I'll choose Payments, and we only did one payment on March 31st, so I'm just going to narrow my dates to be very particular. Go. And I'll choose OK. So there's my one payment. Again, do all of the payments in my notes, and let's take a quick look at prepayments. So in this situation, we want to purchase an item from one of our suppliers. This supplier we haven't done any business with yet, so they require a deposit for an item that we're asking about. So it's a special item. They're going to order it on our behalf and then deliver it to us. So they're asking for a deposit for that reason. So I go to payments. This supplier doesn't exist, so I can't use this little list here. I have to go to payments, and it's a brand new supplier. It's Northwest Music Incorporated. And I'm just going to quick add them. So when I hit tab to leave this field, it asks me what I want to do. Quick add. Generally, I want to add taxes and terms if they exist. But you can just basically, what will happen is it will create a supplier record for Northwest Music with no other information filled in except for the default. And this is happening on March 25th. Now notice presently what we see is only the ability to pay outstanding invoices. That's why this is all blank. If you want to make a prepayment or a deposit, we use this little, it's supposed to look like an arrow going into a safe full of money. You'll see the same button on the receivable side when we receive deposits from customers. And the amount here is $500. and prepayment on purchase. You could say something like special order or something like that. First time supplier. Just to be very clear about what we're doing. And if you look at the report, credit to the bank account, debit to an asset, purchase prepayments. And again, I'll go ahead and post that. And I'll choose yes. And okay. Now we're buying an item from Northwest Music. So we're going to purchase that item, and then we'll purchase the item on account, and then we'll pay that invoice minus the prepayment amount. So there's a couple of steps to this. So let's quickly add an invoice to Northwest Music. So I'm going to use my favorite method, Twirl Northwest, create invoice. And this is on March 31st. They've given us a source document number. By the way, that NMI is probably our code for Northwest Music. That will allow us to make our reports quite a bit smaller. We can leave off the name, and then if we know the codes, it'll be on the invoice number, so we can get rid of the name column. And this is March 31st. And we're buying a brand new item that we haven't purchased before, we haven't sold before. So we're going to create that item on the fly. So I'm going to click inside of the item number field, twirl this down, and choose my create button. That gives me a new inventory services ledger screen, so I can add a new inventory item. I'm just going to quickly show you, close this and show you one other method to do this. We can click on the finder as well and create. The result is the same. We get to the same screen, and this is an S121. Again, this is in my notes that I'm sharing with you, or if you have the book, it's also in the book. Again, it's a CCI Learning series, which are great. Inventory item. We want to have 5 of these in stock. We've decided that they're useful to carry. Buy them by the each. We sell them by the each. And we hope to get $229 for them. Sorry, $369.95. I always populate preferred and web prices. Sometimes the book asks you to clear these. I always leave them populated. Linked. This sounds like a string. This is probably 1520. S actually means strings. 4020, 5020. And variance, we always use 5100. You could use some granularity here and have variance for every single department if you like. And save and close. And we're buying 8 of these. And Northwest has let us know that we're paying $229 for those. We're paying GST. And there's no shipping. We're going to go to Northwest Music and pick those up ourselves. And I'll go ahead and post. So again, we paid Hamilton Music a deposit. We bought the item. Now it's time to pay that invoice. So again, I'll twirl Northwest. Choose pay invoice. There's the invoice there. Payment amount. So I just click in the payment amount field column, and I click on the same line item as the deposit. That will subtract that deposit, which is in red. So now the total is the payment amount minus the deposit. You can get rid of that prepayment, we only use that line when we enter the prepayment, so sometimes it's confusing. There we go. And this is on March 31st as well, I imagine. I don't have it in my notes. So when we look at the report, we'll have a credit to the bank account, a debit to accounts payable, as well as a credit to that asset account we use for prepayments, which is simply called purchase prepayments. So that's payments and prepayments. Let's quickly look at how let's post this first of all. Let's quickly look at how we can adjust payments. So first of all, let's there's one payment in my list that I haven't recorded yet, so I'm going to quickly make a payment to Hamilton Music. So now this will be in error, so I'm making a mistake here on purpose. So we're paying $2,000 on this invoice, and I hit tab, that pops me into the discount taken, and we're also paying this amount minus the discount. By the way, there's a little error loop that happens if you accidentally click past this discount taken. So I'll just quickly show you what happened. I tabbed to it and it automatically was selected, but if I clicked here first, notice we get that full amount minus the discount, and then we look at it, we go, oh, I actually want to apply that discount. So now we enter 10.0 to apply the discount, and it's not automatically subtracted, and you get this little error here. So in order to fix this, you have to choose OK, delete the payment amount, delete the discount amount first, delete the payment amount, and then click back on the discount and then the payment amount. So you basically have to clear everything and start over. Alright, so we are paying Hamilton Music for those two invoices, $2,000 on the first one and a discount of $10.80 on the second. I think we went and paid this one off before we finished paying this one off so we could get that discount. And we'll go ahead and post. Notice that since we didn't pay this one in full, we get a little alert, and we did this on purpose to get that $10.80 discount. I guess we're cash poor, we need that $10.80, so we'll just go ahead and choose yes, and OK. I'll close my payment screen. Okay, so that's the payment to Hamilton Music. Again, the scenario here is that we entered it incorrectly, so we realized that we made a mistake here, so we need to modify that payment, adjust it, that is. So I can go to payments, find payment. I want to find one from Hamilton Music. I'll put that at the last date just to increase my results. There's the one payment. I'll select that. So now in order to edit this, notice everything's grayed out. We can't change anything right now. Nothing's editable here until we click on the little pencil eraser. Previously, when we looked at adjustments, we just jumped to an adjustment. It was already in editing mode. But when you find an entry, just to look it up, and then you realize it's wrong, then you go and adjust it. So it turns out we didn't actually pay this amount here. We only paid the $2,000, and again, I made a mistake on the date there, so I'm just going to change that to March 30th. And of course, a reversing entry to clear those amounts is created under the hood, and then a new entry with the correct amounts to instate the proper amounts is also created. So it results in 3 entries instead of 1. And we'll go ahead and post. And yes. And now in this situation, we're not giving a new check to Hamilton Music Center. So this is asking us, are we writing a new check? That's basically what that means. No, we are not. We actually gave them a check for $2,000, but we recorded the payment greater than what we actually paid. So we'll say no. If we were issuing a new check, if we said, hey, hold on, we didn't want to pay so much, can you void that check and we'll give you a new one? In that situation, we would have said yes. So we'll look at 3 reports. I'm going to use this little reports option here because this is the quickest and easiest. So if you want to see a list of all of your suppliers, there it is there. Supplier list, right at the top. Choose create, and let me just resize that so it fits inside of the area I'm capturing. So there's our list of suppliers. Now if you're going to use this as a basis for a mail out or something like that by email, you may not want all of these columns. So if you need to modify these reports, you can go modify, report columns, and custom, and then just remove all of the columns you don't want from this side here. So the only column I just want to call them up. So imagine this is a phone list for admin assistant. So I'm going to remove that. Maybe the balance. Keep the balance. Keep the phone number. Keep the contact and the name and the phone number, and choose OK. And now we have a nice little phone list, so we can call up all of our suppliers, let them know that we owe them a lot of money, and maybe ask for better terms or what have you. We would put our admin assistant on that and just give them this report. We also have supplier aged summary and detail. So let me just quickly jump to summary. The difference between summary and detail will show you all of the transactions that result in the balances. The summary will just show you the balances. So we're just going to quickly look at the summary. This will show us a list of all of the amounts we owe. The age means it'll show us a variety of aging periods, current, 30, 60, 90 days, something like that. And I'll create that, just resize it so you can see. I realized I didn't resize the reports the first time I showed you some of these reports. So this is as of the session date. So reports by default are always as of the session date. You can always change that to be something else if you like. Or if you change the session date, then all your reports are pertinent as well. Now you can also drill down on these amounts. That's what this little magnifying glass is indicating. So if I double click on this total here, it'll open up basically the detail. Let me just resize that so you can see it. So the detail again is all of the transactions. If you want to see, for example, if you realize one of these things are an error, or if you want to take a closer look at it, you can just double click right on the source document number. Sometimes depending on where you double click, you'll get you'll be drilling down on a different screen. So I'm just going to double click on that one there. And again, if we realize, oh, maybe the tax was supposed to be GP, or we recorded the wrong date, you could then click on your little pencil and adjust the invoice. So you can drill down, access all of your transactions via reports. Again, that's what I'll do to mark your work. I look at the journal entries all report, and then I drill down on anything that is out of whack so I can comment on it. And then we also have supplier purchases summary. So supplier purchases summary will show us all of the items we purchased, all of the invoices, purchase invoices, so no payments. And you see they're basically all categorized by item. That's why it's a summary. It's not categorized by each transaction, which would include a number of all the items. It's all of the items accumulated across all invoices. The detail will show us all of the transactions. So that's pretty much it for payables for now. Again, in this screencast, we looked at payments, prepayments, applying those prepayments to invoices, adjusting a payment, and then a handful of payables reports. Thanks for watching.